I had to call the cops tonight. I called the cops today on my way making a DoorDash delivery. I saw a stray dog, an abandoned dog in the middle of the street. It was in the suburbs, a little bit off the beaten path. And I saw the dog on the way to delivery. I pulled over. It didn't have any collar or leash on it. And then on my way back to the main highway, I saw it again just sitting there looking abandoned, lost, and in need of help. So I was caught in a dynamic where I had other stuff to do in my life. Another delivery, which I did eventually proceed and go on to. And I looked at the situation. Well, what can I do to help? Okay. Because I'm in a position to help. When you're in a position to help, you are the strong one. And when you're the strong one, it comes with responsibility. In life, you're going to have times where you're the strong one and when you're the weak one. You haven't experienced life until you've been broken. Never forget when you've been broken. Never. In life, you may get arrogant. You may pile up a bunch of victories. You may be doing well. And you may start to say, hey, look, let them figure it out. I don't want to get involved. You can change life. You can change things in this world. You can make a difference. Now, look, I understand the philosophy that life is a little bit meaningless. I subscribe to that a little bit, but I also subscribe to the fact that throughout history, people who got involved made a difference and made human society better. So it does matter if you get involved. And I'm not saying it's always wisdom to get full blown out involved where you jeopardize yourself. But at the least, you should call the authorities. Because there are animal rescue, there are police officers, there are institutions within society that are paid to tend to certain things. And so I Googled animal control, animal rescue, and nothing was open 24/7. So I looked at the local township police. I didn't want to call 911. So I looked at the local township police and I called them. I talked to the dispatch lady and I told her the situation. If you have a gun, but you don't help someone in need, to me, you have a mental disability and you are, look, with the Second Amendment right, Cameron, look, I'm not for it. I'm for it, but I'm not for it to look, if you guys aren't positive and productive into society, look, I mean, come on, the government has nuclear weapons, okay? So look, I'm for the right to protect yourself, okay? But, look, I've been in life, okay? I've seen people get shot. I've seen people go to jail for murder, okay? And I've fought fights. And what I could tell you is, look, most people, the vast majority of people who own guns and use them, they've destroyed their life. They have a mental disability, and they're a negative part of society. There are some that are positive, but most of the ones I've met in my real life experience, they're negative and they're nasty and they're conservative and they're tight. And I don't care who you vote for, but it does play a part in society. Like I had some guy who's from Canada, and I love Canada, I got a lot of good viewers, but he left some comment in the middle of the night last night talking about he's conservative. He owns property in Fort Lauderdale. He rents it. Okay. He's conservative. He's got universal health care. He loves it. He loves that if he comes down to Fort Lauderdale, if he breaks his leg, that his government will pay for it. Okay. But he also loves to rape and pillage and get all his profits, from down here too. He wants it both ways. And most people, they make their money in the liberal states and then they try to retire in the conservative states because they want the tax break. Okay. They're in a position of strength and that's all they want. They want to rape and plunder and pillage. And I'm blowing it up a little bit. I'm exaggerating, not all, but it's a mindset of everyone do for themselves. And I subscribe to that a little bit too. Because I do believe that government can't do everything for you. I do believe that charities can't do everything for you. You have to be accountable for your life, and you can screw your life up, and that's on you. So I subscribe a little bit to both. Okay. But I don't understand it. See, as I'm talking about rescuing a dog, you're talking about the Second Amendment right. I don't understand it, man. It's just a mindset out there that I don't understand. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, man. I'm trying to talk about in life, you get involved. Okay. So number one is you are a positive and productive person in society. You're doing something to earn an income, or if you secured an income and you're living off investments, you're doing something in your life that's making some type of difference. Take care of yourself first. I subscribe to that. I do that. Take care of yourself first. Okay. I have met some people on life, and I almost went through that myself, where they're trying to save the world, and they themselves are not in a position to help anyone because they haven't put the work into their own life. We had a great viewer in here, Alexis, last night. I know she struggles with anxiety, and she subscribes to the 12-step program, like Alcohol Anonymous, and I had family members who strung out on drugs. And I said, well, what's the 12-step program for like mental depression and stuff? And she said, well, the first step is to admit you're powerless. And I got upset, just like I got upset about the Second Amendment right thing. I said, powerless? I said, I don't agree with that. I would certainly say I would agree that, look, we all struggle, and I may be struggling in this area more than others, and I need help. Nothing wrong with that. But to admit like you're powerless and you have no control, then you might as well be locked up. Because if a psychopath can't control his anger and he's killing other people, he should be locked up, or she should be locked up. Men commit 90% of the violent crimes, and they love their Second Amendment right. Huh. Amazing. 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 And most men I know who have guns, they don't want to fight. So I don't understand. You shouldn't even want to fight. You should want to call the authorities. And if you need to, then you self-defense. And you should never even be bragging about having a gun or having a taser or having a knife. You should never even want to use it unless it's an absolute last resort. When you're in a position to help someone, you either get involved as much as you can or you call the authorities if you can only get involved so much. If you're threatened, same thing. You call the authorities. And then if you have no other choice, then you defend. But the strong, whether you're a manager, whether you're a DoorDash delivery driver, whether you're the president, or whoever you are in life, a YouTube personality, when you're in a position of strength, there's an obligation with it. At the same time, what I have seen is the weak, you want to help the weak. You don't want to oppress them. You are giving a level of physical and mental strength not to just be the top dog. If you just want to be a boss, you are a disgrace to society. You want to be a leader. A leader realizes that you have been given more strength because you are there to not, you should help yourself, but also to protect those who are weaker than you. Now, I also have witnessed the counterpart of that, and that's why I also subscribe to Don't Take a Lot of Shit, is because I've had people in my life that could be considered quote unquote weak, and they'll take you for a loophole. They'll just keep guilt tripping you and saying, oh, sad me, somebody help me, nobody cares. And then the weak try to tail wag the dog. I had some lady last night, basically saying she worked a minimum wage job her whole life. Finally, she got a job paying $50K a year. But then the manager that got her job, she probably didn't have to do anything. She had a friend that got her a job. And then when the friend got fired or left, she had another manager come in, and then she quit. And now she wants to get disability, the stress of work. And now she's taking care of her mother. Yeah, she's taking care of her mother. She's probably basically taking her mom's credit card and ordering DoorDash. But she could be considered weak. But she's also a little nasty. Okay. So there's some weak people there. They got nasty attitude. They do. And I don't want to hurt them. I certainly want them to have some basic services. But there's a balance. There's a balance. Society will always come to a point, humans, we push it. We push things to the edge. We'll smoke or we'll destroy our health until we get really sick and we have a health scare. And then we have to make a decision. Same thing with, greed. Because just how laziness will bring you into poverty, greed, okay, will destroy society. It will. Because at a certain point, you have too much of an imbalance, okay? And, all you care about is you. I think the highly productive, I think the hard worker, I think the valuable to society, I think they should be rewarded at a higher level. But I do think there's an issue where a CEO of Walmart is making 10,000 times more than the average worker. I think that's a disgrace to society. I do. I think it's a disgrace. So, the imbalances of society are the strong caring for the weak. Now, the too far the other way are the weak running the show as far as like being lazy and nasty. There has to be a balance. But you have to get involved if you want to make a difference. And you get involved first by taking care of yourself. That's the first step. Not by starting a charity. I did that. I could tell you from experience. Not by doing that. It's work on yourself. You want to get involved after that in a church, in a charity, in some type of thing or whatever, do it. And even if you never even get that far, if you do a DoorDash and you see someone in need, if you can't help them or you shouldn't help them, call the authorities. Society is made up of people. You're a person in society. If you look in the mirror, how do you judge yourself, strong or weak? And if you're strong, do you do something in your life that your life shouldn't be about always, bending over backwards for the weak, but, do you make sure that there's, a level of fairness? Equality, that's looking after the weak, man. I look at my mom, worked all her life, and she didn't work any high paying jobs, basic jobs, supermarket, secretary. Hard worker, not lazy. Showed up every day. Worked till 70 years old where her knee gave out in the supermarket. Working for $11 an hour. Is that right? $11 an hour? You can't feed a family on that. Now, luckily, she had already, gone through life and she'd raised the kids and she got help, child support from my father and different things. But that's the issue, because there's certain people that look, working at a supermarket, maybe their top potential. And I do think, we're in a bad place, where we all we care about is the Dow Jones average and what we can get for our rental income. I think you should be able to prosper great. I think the free market, I think capitalism is great. I think America's great. But I also think that the wealth gap is the biggest it's been since the Great Depression. And that happened under Barack Obama too, in addition to Trump. So, it is what it is. Because look, corporations run the country. It's true. That's like, a little bit of the political side, but life is about politics, so I don't avoid it. I really don't care what you are, conservative, liberal, progressive. I don't give a shit. Do what you do. Okay. But it does matter, man. Just like it mattered to me, in high school, about bullies. Never liked them. I remember, my first, in elementary school, I was like the patrol officer at the time. And I took that serious. Like if I saw someone got bullied, I would, step in or call someone or blow the whistle. My first fight was with a bully. I was shy at the time. I think that progressed to middle school. Guy just kept teasing me because I was overweight. And I was very shy. I just let it slide. And then it got worse and worse. And then eventually I pushed back and swung back. And it stopped. But I was strong enough to willing to deal with it. And I got in a few fights, and even after fights, a couple times people said, Sam, after the fight, I respected you. But there was certainly fights. There's certainly times I remember people stuck up for me. I remember one time, I almost got robbed. Almost got a gun put to my head. There was an older person stronger than me, had a gun on him, and was going to rob me. A mutual friend said something to the guy, said, nah, Sam's with me. If it wasn't for him looking after me, because at that point, I was the weaker person. You will be the strong person at times and you'll be the weaker person. You'll be both. And at that point, I was the weaker person. Basically, either could have got shot or robbed. But my friend took up for me. I was walking today and I saw a bee. It must have had broken wings on a sidewalk. And I was looking, bees like a strong insect, big, intimidating. Even me, like I see a bee, I'll turn into like, I get scared if I see a bee come in here right now. But I seen this bee, must have broken wings, was on the sidewalk. And these little ants, they would be considered weak insects. They were eating away at the bee in his weakness. A predator will always prey on something when it's weak or old. That's why most of the robocalls go to the senior citizens. They're preying on the weak mind. So, again, it can flip quick. You could be the bee one day and the next day your wings could get broken. And that's why I say, I'm not for pandering always to the people who are hurting, because even the people who are hurting, the little ants, if you give them a position of power, they'll turn into the pricks. They'll start to devour the powerful. So I don't care if you're weak or strong. When you're in a position of power, you can be corrupted easily. And that's why society will always struggle with balance. You need balance. And that's a tough thing. Tough thing for most people in their life to find balance. Someone left me this long comment on one of my videos that society is too crooked now. And, it's at askew. And that we should go back to the days where, everyone worked together in harmony and trade and barter and everything equal. And she couldn't even get along with her own family members. I said, hi, you have this reality of your mind that everyone's going to get along in harmony and trade equally. You can't even get along with your own family members. Guys, without Social Security, most parents wouldn't be living with their children. They'd be destitute. Because most children got their own life and vice versa. Thank God for Social Security. Thank God for Medicare. Thank God for the Canadians who have universal health care and then come down here and love capitalism. Shout to Trend News. Trend News, you pissed me off last night. I'm not going to lie to you. Pissed me off, man. Talking about you're a conservative. Hey, man, I hear you. Come on, man. It's like my man from Shark Tank, Kevin O'Reilly, Mr. Wonderful. He's a Canadian, universal healthcare guy. He couldn't work a job. He got fired from an ice cream parlor. He couldn't work a hard day in his life. His mom had to bail him out with socialism and give him a $10,000 loan to start a business. Some of these real estate moguls and these entrepreneurs, they couldn't work a day at Walmart. They couldn't work a day in DoorDash a day in their life. They couldn't work in construction. And that's why they love capitalism, because they can never, if it wasn't for them being socialized by their parents or someone else, they wouldn't survive a day. That's why they have no empathy. Mr. Wonderful. Yeah, not Mr. Wonderful. To me, that guy's a disgrace, just like Jim Cramer, disgrace. And as soon as the stock market tanks, Jim Cramer's the first one banging on his desk, begging for the government to lower the interest rate. Total disgrace. Capitalism would have collapsed during the Great Depression and Great Recession if it wasn't for the government. Never forget it. Am I for socialism? No. Am I for full-blown capitalism? No, for a balance. Okay. Why? Because, guys, do the strong have to protect the weak? They do. Will the weak take advantage if you give them too much strength? Yeah. There's got to be balance. If you see something in your everyday life, not just with this big society thing that you can't change, you're never going to be president, probably, either am I. Throughout your everyday life, one is take care of yourself. Okay. And every day, you should be taking care of yourself. Okay. Not in a selfish way, but in a self-care way. And if you ain't doing that, forget about this fantasy about you being Mother Teresa. Because Mother Teresa, if you read her last will and testament documents, her diary, she was bitter, she questioned her faith, and she did some wrong in her life. Okay. So first is take care of your own house. And if you can't control your mental depression, you shouldn't be having kids. Just like if a psychopath cannot stop hurting people, he shouldn't be free in society. Okay. Hey, Robert, man, you go somewhere else, man. You don't like my message? You want to live your own life? Go somewhere else, man. There's plenty of places to go. This is not for you. I'm not your friend. Okay. Am I your enemy? No. But do I rock with you? No, I don't subscribe to your philosophy. Okay. So go fucking find somewhere else to go. Go to Mr. Wonderful's channel. See how he likes you. You probably couldn't hang out one day. You couldn't do one day working for Donald Trump. That's the truth. I'd probably succeed under him. So I'm not impressed. Okay. I'm not impressed by the strong people who pretend they're strong when they're really the weakest. Would I hurt you? No. No, I wouldn't hurt you. I would ensure justice, but I wouldn't let you lead my life either. I won't let you guilt trip me. I won't let your philosophy that I don't agree with corrupt my mind. Okay. I won't. You do what you want to do. Okay. This ain't the channel for you. There's plenty of free other channels. Okay. Positive people make a difference. Negative people do too. Positive people make a difference, so do negative people. Who are you going to be in life? Who are you going to be in life? You know, that's important. It matters. And that's what I want to say tonight. I'll take a hydration break and we'll go all live comments. Appreciate you, Danny. Eric, thank you, man. I appreciate that, Eric. Thank you, brother. Thank you, everyone. Tom, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the positive people. I do. Journey with Jordan, I love you, man. I love you too, Diana, Lila. Free to be me, Milano. I love you too, Cameron. I do, man. Don't get upset. Buck, you know I got you. I will read all live comments. Journey with Jordan, man. Appreciate you, man. I was very thankful for the comment you left about your DoorDash, and man. Shout out to Tennessee that you, that one of my videos was able to inspire you in some way, and that you did a little extra DoorDash, and that you took care of yourself. You earned an income. You did honest living, and you're taking a step forward in your life, and that's what I want for you. And I want you to continue to, if you want, apply for other jobs, and you know, don't be scared to apply. Thank you, Cameron. I love you, brother. I love you. And even if I get upset, you know I love you because I appreciate you. You don't have to give to me for me to love you. I thank you. But never anyone feel like, you know, you have to buy my friendship. I love the people who are positive. Okay. Sincerely. And it's not I'm not trying to manipulate anyone. Thank you, Cameron. But Journey with Jordan and everyone out there, what I always tell you is don't be as scared, or you're going to be scared, but don't let that fear paralyze you from applying for a job that if you show up, you're not going to know what to do. Okay. Every job I've had, I'm scared. Even showing up on Monday, you're always going to be scared. And I'm not trying to tell you should always work jobs you hate, because I don't think that's the best life either. But, I just want to encourage you guys that you can do more than you think. Okay. Even if it's just to extend a DoorDash or to make a delivery. And if you can't do that, then, it's find something. Okay. Find something, and you're going to fail. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to screw up. And not everything is for everyone. But like I always tell you, to me, Queen is a shining star. Queen's one of the people that comes into the live chat. I watch her videos. She has a YouTube channel. I think she has some type of disability. I say that lightly because everyone has their challenges. But she's a positive person. And she does coloring. She uploads video about walking. Like today, she uploaded a video about couple videos about like going to like a dance that I guess her support group sponsored. I mean, that's positive. Anything you can do that, that's positive and it pushes you a little bit to, that's good. It's good. It's good. Doug, good to see you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate Pam. Shout out to you. I love you, man. Never forget that, man. Keep pushing forward. Camera. I love you, brother. Buck, sheepdog mindset. Guys, look. If you really have some faith, I have faith. I don't believe you should go deep religion. I almost went there. But, again, what's the purpose of, Jesus said he was the shepherd, to look over the flock. And you got to be careful with that because a lot of people use those type of scriptures to control people, to call everyone sheep. But look, if you're strong, you've been blessed. Just like if you're beautiful, you're blessed. If you're in a position to help someone, or if you're stronger than, it's not just there. Now, you can go ahead and do you. I don't want you to feel guilty for being smart or guilty for being physically strong. But I want you to remember that, look, if you're, and America claims it's overall Christian, okay? And so does even Trump. And yet, we don't look at the scriptures and say, whatever you've done to the weakest of thee, you've done to me. We don't even care about any of that. Now, I'm not saying, again, we could go too far with that. And I think, you got to have a system in place, okay, where the productive and the hard workers excel and there's room for innovation. Not everything is government controlled. But again, we go back to balance, but we go back to some underlining principles that guide our life. That was what, to me, the civil rights was all about. Martin Luther King Jr. said, I'm here to remind America of its conscience. And that's where, look, faith did come into play. And without that, there would be an extreme injustice. And so, today, it may be economic injustice. It may be not a lazy person, but someone working at Walmart or working at DoorDash, and they can barely get by. Maybe that's, for them, their best. If someone's willing to work, they should be able to at least support themselves and live a decent life. Not a life of luxury, but a decent life. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I really do. All right, let's continue. Cameron, I love you, man. I love you, Cameron. I appreciate you, man. You know that I'm being me, but I don't want to hurt you. And I love you, man. I love you. Milano, Sammy, this is crazy law about guns. Well, guys, I do agree with the Second Amendment. I just balance it. I don't want to say people should not have guns. I mean, I don't want to say that because I understand the need for them. That government can go too far. It's a checks and balances. But I also, look, the government's got nuclear weapons. If they really want you, they'll get you. It's a balance. But look, I don't think you always need a gun. You could have a taser. You could have a gun with non-lethal rounds. There's a lot of way to protect yourself without lethal protection. So, look, I'm not, you got to find a balance. It's a tough balance. But that used to, which I used to bark on Barack Obama for, like every time a shooting would take place, he would go right to gun control. Look, you're never going to control everyone. So there's got to be a balance. Tom, you're genuine, and man, I value your integrity. Thank you, Tom. People always hate on real people. Thank you. Trying to make a difference. Thank you. You are appreciated. I appreciate that. And your words have strength. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Tom. Look, I'm just trying to do my part, okay? I'm doing me. I don't have all the answers. No one has all the answers. That's the whole point about life. And that's why I tell you guys, don't be as scared to apply for a job thinking that you have to have all the answers. I've never met a manager, a director, a CEO that has all the answers. Never. Never. So, and a lot of times, like, we're looking for this big answer, about life or about gun control, like we were just talking about, contentious subjects. But guys, let's not get lost in the contentious subjects. Let's just talk about everyday life, because your everyday life, 99% of your life has nothing to do with guns. It shouldn't. It should be doing about whatever you're doing for work, self-care, treating people decent. To me, that's all like, background noise for the most part. There's a time and place to debate it. Okay. But, let's focus on the bigger life issues, okay? Which is, a humane society, which is going out there and working, not being lazy. But then also, if you're working, a just society where there's some balance of, if you are able to work and willing to work, like you're getting a decent salary, and that, you can't just get laid off and left for dead, okay? Like that's what my one guy, like Trend News from Canada, like he was telling me, like last night, I must have got all fired up. He must have saw like the stock market last week and heard Trump, and he must have masturbated to it because he left me like this long ass comment about like conservatism. And he's like, as long as we could have a conversation, not scream at each other. Well, hey, look, does Trump scream at people or does he have a conversation? But that's fine. Because I thought Barack Obama had conversations with people. But I think you like Trump. I think you like when people scream at you. That's all right. So I'll scream at you. So, to me, if you get laid off, what's your number one expense? It's going to be healthcare. Okay. And in America, your number one cause of bankruptcy is medical bills. That's fact. Okay. So when you have universal health care, that takes and I had my own business. What's your number one burden? Paying for your own health care. But what I tell everyone out there is use the system, because medical bills can be bankrupt. Now, when you do bankruptcy, it can destroy other parts of your financial well-being. But just like Trump, just like the other ones, if you get too much medical loan debt, bankrupt the shit out of it if it can without destroying yourself. The biggest negative is you cannot bankrupt college loan debt. It's just the way it is. Now, there is some debt forgiveness programs, especially if you were in the Army or different things like that. Look into them. But I don't agree with college for everyone, because I grew up I have two other siblings, and we all went to the same public schools, and we all turned out differently. I'm the only one of my siblings that isn't on government assistance. So if they went to college and I went to college, it wouldn't have made a difference. I am for not free college for everyone. I'm for after high school, you have an opportunity. If you go to college, whatever you major in, if it's going to be free, you have to work in that industry for at least 2 to 5 years. So you can either go to college, educational, you can go to a trade school, or you can go into a service, or whether it's the military service or whether the community service, some type of placement, either in the private sector, educational, in the trades, or in like some type of community service thing. But education is not the answer for everyone as far as higher education with college, because everyone doesn't want to be a book smart person. So that's where, and there's even a scripture that says it doesn't make sense to pay for an education for someone who has no desire to learn. And there's some people just like me. I did certain schooling. I had the mental discipline to do it, but I hated it. And I just did enough for the trade part of it, electrical engineering part of it, that I needed to do. So I believe you get a 3-pronged system. Either give someone the opportunity, and I would say only like the first 2 years would be a level of free. And you have to, while you go to school, you have to work in that industry as like an intern. So if you want to go to school to be a teacher, or you want to go to school to be a nurse or whatever, you have to work at night, just like I had to work at night for 5 years, like part of the union. You work during the day, actually go to school at night. So you have to work in the industry and you got to go to school. You do both. And then at the end of a certain time, you get a certification, and, you do what you want after that. But, if society is paying for someone to learn, then they also have to use that knowledge to benefit society by working in that role, and maybe working as an intern, working for free or a low pay until they can graduate. Juicy Jeff, man, I love that new name, bro. Juicy Jeff, man. He moved to California, man. He got all juiced up, man. That's a catchy-ass name, man. I saw that last night. I almost spit my damn Starbucks out of my mouth, man. I love that name, bro. He was originally Sketchy Jeffy. Thank God I got rid of that name. Then he was XB Jeffy. Now it's Juicy Jeff. I love that name, man. That's a good name, brother. Juicy Jeff, man. You have the temperament, the intelligence. You could be a star, not just on YouTube, in life. I heard your video about you want to work 6 months and then do unemployment for 6 months and then keep doing that. Jeff, let me tell you this, brother. When you're young and middle-aged, advance your career and work consistently. If you go from seasonal job to seasonal job, you will always start back at zero or a low pay. The way you leverage your career is to work consistently for years and then get certifications, and then you get more power. And then you're in a position where you can pick and choose jobs and you can hire other people. Then you can help the weak. Okay. But if you're going to keep stop working every 6 months, I understand you want to enjoy life. Don't kill yourself for the dollar. But Jeff, don't sell yourself short, because you're too valuable to society. You're too valuable to society to be masturbating in a sock 6 months out of the year in Idaho or even in California. I don't want to tell you what to do. I want to give you the freedom to do you. And I like that you used the word prioritize. And he said, right now I'm not prioritizing YouTube. I got other priorities. I like that. I remember Whitney Houston's funeral. And that was the whole message: prioritize your life. And she didn't prioritize right. She put Bobby Brown up there, and Bobby Brown screwed her up. But she did to herself too. I got a couple siblings. If they hang around with bad people, it's not just the bad people. It's them choosing those people. So what I would tell you this, Juicy Jeff, I want you to do whatever you want. But I want to tell everyone out there, if you're intelligent, if you're strong, and if you live a life below your potential, you're doing a disservice to the gifts God given you. I don't want you to always work a job you hate. I don't want you to do that. That's not, but I don't want you to put no demand on your life. Okay. Just like your car, you got to open it up a little bit. You got to put a little demand on it. And some of you guys like Juicy Jeff, man, you're smart, man. You're very charismatic. You got a good talking voice, good communicator. Okay. Don't sell yourself short, man. You sky's the limit for you, man. Sky's the limit. You know, you could be a world-class chef, or you could be an executive at a technology company. I can see you, man. But you only do that, you got to push yourself a little bit. Not enough to hurt yourself and not enough to live an uninspired life. But, you know, I don't think that God gives you all those gifts. You know, I'm tempted by that too sometimes, to hide, because it's less effort. And I've had to find the balance. Like, I met some barista. I known her since last year when I first started coming to Florida. She's what they call, there's a lot of them down here. She's what they call like, what do they call that? When you go to another country, a missionary. And so she goes to like other countries like 6 months out of the year to be a missionary. So we had started talking about that. I said, do you really want to do that? And she was like, yeah, I want to do it. Her whole family was missionaries. And I guess he thought like originally, like I didn't have faith, or I didn't like believe in God, because I really don't, you know, express it that much until we get in. So, but then over the course of the past couple of years, she got to know me. And recently she came back from one of her overseas trips. So we started talking about faith. And I started telling her about my, you know, look, I 10 years I did in the church. I was a youth leader. I eventually got my own nonprofit. I did a radio show. I tried to help, you know, the destitute in my own little way. And so she was surprised. You know, and so what I told her was the tough part about faith and getting involved in ministry and whatever you're trying to do in life. When you give so much of yourself and you don't take enough time for yourself, you get burnt out, and then you want to totally crawl under a rock and you won't be bothered with anyone. And I kind of got to that point. Because when I was young, I was doing a lot. I was trying to figure out life. I was reading a lot. I was studying a lot. I was working a lot. I was doing electrical contracting business. I was doing nonprofit. I was working at nights. And I burnt myself out. And then I said, fuck everything. I'm going to just get a dog, eat food, and I don't want to be bothered with no one. And that's what I did. And over the course of the past couple of years, after my dog passed, I kind of rebuilding my life and start to share my life again, you know, on YouTube and different things, you know, for a side hustle, but also share my gift. I'm always honest with you guys. But that's the issue, is that we give of ourselves, you know, because we're strong, we got something to give. But then if we give too much and we leave ourselves empty, it's not good either. And then we want to become a recluse. But if you just become a recluse, what are you doing with your life? You know, it's not your best life. I don't believe it. I remember I worked with a manager, and there was a vendor that was at the office. And the vendor was telling me a story. He said, I remember one time I saw, let's just say, call him Tom. It's a generic name I'm using. He said, I saw your manager Tom one time working like this basic job. And I said to him, I said, man, what the fuck are you doing this for? And not because I thought like there was anything negative about earning an income. Because whether you work at Walmart, DoorDash, there's never anything negative about an honest living. Nothing. And he goes, I wasn't saying it because like I was trying to downgrade what he was doing. But I said, why are you working this job in the context of you're so much more talented than just doing this? Why are you settling for this? Why are you living a life below your potential? So I preach live below your means, but up to your potential. Doesn't mean you have to have a high corporate job. But it means that, you know, and I know Juicy Jeff, you're young, but it means like as you get older in life and as you develop yourself, you have to find the balance, and balance is always going to be a key word in life. Make a note. You have to find the balance of taking care of yourself, okay, so that you can be strong, and then also using that strength to serve yourself, but also to have some service in society. Okay. You got to balance that. Like, if you just go out and be a missionary and you don't take any time for yourself, for your own dreams, for your own, I don't think that's good. And I think that's what happened to Mother Teresa and other people. I think they had good intentions, but it was out of balance. It was out of balance. And I've gotten to that point in life. And then I said, fuck everyone. I'm just going to go do me. I don't want to hear. So I hope, you guys out there hear that. And I also hope that you younger and middle-aged people like me, I'm middle-aged. That's why I keep working, is that when you're older, you don't want to have to DoorDash to make ends meet. Okay. So why do you work a little bit extra, and why do you take jobs that push you a little bit when you're younger or middle-aged? Because look, we got some viewers that they're in their 60s and 70s and they're in poverty. And you don't want to be 68 years old and you have to do a DoorDash to make ends meet. Okay. And I'm not trying to shame anyone who's doing that. I'm just trying to tell all my people who are younger and middle-aged, that's the reality of life. And that, in a society, hopefully we advance as we continue to progress, as stock market hits all-time highs. I hope that we continue to, again, have a level of balance in society, and that a 68-year-old person would never have to be destitute. It's a shame. But, I'm not saying they should live in luxury, but look, when you're able, push yourself a little bit so that when you're older, you can rest more. And if you want to do a DoorDash when you're 68, you do it for side cash. But you don't have to do it to eat. Okay. Because, I have hope in society, whereas I look at human history and I do see advancement through other people getting involved. When does evil prevail? When good people do nothing. When does evil prevail? When good people do nothing. When you don't get involved. Whether it's a stray dog, whether it's a political issue that you disagree with someone on, or whether you're at a workplace, whatever it is, it's going to be different circumstances in your life. But, the only way you're going to make the world better is not just debating political issues, is you have to actually live life. And if you have a good mind and a good body, you're not better than anyone, but go out there and be a leader. Okay. The world needs more leaders. And I don't care if you're conservative or liberal or whatever, be a balanced person. Okay. That, wants to see the productive rewarded, but you also want to see a level of fairness and compassion. And you want to make a difference in your own life first, okay? And, in others. Good job. Milano. Oh, yeah, we read that. I love you, brother. Buck, sometimes I lose my temper, bro. Well, thank you for sharing, Buck. Look, when I was younger, I had a temper. Look, my father had a temper. He used to hit on my mom a little bit before they got divorced. I remember calling 911 on my father. Like today, I called the cops on an abandoned dog. I remember calling 911 on my father at the age of 8. And I remember pushing my mom to get a divorce. And I said, Ma, look, in my own way, at that age, I wasn't articulating it like I am now, but I was, and my mom had later told me, like, Sam, you gave me the strength to get out of that relationship. And I don't blame my father for everything because he did some good things. But what I'm here to tell you is when you're strong, whether you're 8 years old or 80, there's other people who are weaker who are depending on you pushing them, and not always pushing them like drill sergeant, but some way, somehow your presence makes a difference. But, in my younger age, when you're young, you're trying to understand life and process it, and you do have a temper. But I remember a couple times, even an embarrassment to say it, but I will say it to share it with you, is that when I was still a teenager, I remember then getting in an argument with my mom. And I don't remember what it was about, teenage shit. But I remember pushing my mom and pushing her with a little bit of strength. And I'll never forget my mother's face. It was like, total shock. And at that point, like almost like, then I was, man, would I become my father? And my father wasn't abusive, but I could tell like my anger was out of control a little bit. And that's part of, look, being an adolescent, period. And so you have to learn to develop, to control that. That takes time. Okay? It takes work though. And that's why I tell you, like, I got involved in a church and different things because I wanted to get away from a certain element I wanted to develop. That's why spirituality comes into play. And it teaches that self-control. Self-control is supposedly one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Okay? Not that we're not always in control, but it's a goal. Okay? You have a goal, aim for the moon, even if you miss, you're amongst the stars. And that's why I did 10 years in church. And that's why, like, there's plenty of people that reach out to me on YouTube, say they're having problems mentally, physically, or financially, but all they're doing is sitting home all day. They're not going into a support group. Now, whether it's a support group for spirituality or a support group for addiction, you know, if you have some type of thing that you're weak in, you need to be around a support group. I built myself up strong enough through the support group and then doing my own research that I eventually went out and bridged out. Gerald, thank you, man. Thank you, Gerald. Gerald, Tom, and Cameron, thank you. So eventually, the longer, you know, you may do 10 years in a support group, whatever type of support group, and on your side, you have to research yourself so you're not just part of a cult. And then you eventually become strong enough where you can go out there on your own and maybe start your own or do something else. But if you're struggling in life, if you have depression, if you have a sickness, or if you have some type of an addiction or something, then your ass should be in some type of support group and you should be doing some work on yourself. You shouldn't just be looking to collect short-term disability like this one lady was telling me. That's fine, but she wasn't telling me nothing like she was in a support group to get better. So, Buck, thank you for sharing about your anger, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you showing up. Because I know words can be piercing, and I know sometimes I come in here rough. And like Cameron and like Buck, I just appreciate you coming back, man. I do. It shows me something about you. You got what it takes, man. Doug. Pam saved a lot of small cats in our neighborhood. Thumbs up to her. Now that cat is our furry child 5 years later. God bless you, man. Throughout our lifetime, we have saved several animals. You're a good-hearted person, brother, and you're conservative, and I love you. And that's why I want to make a point of that it doesn't, you know, just because I'm progressive, it doesn't mean that, like, you know, all conservatives are bad-hearted or all liberals are right. It doesn't mean that at all. I don't like Nancy Pelosi at all. So I want to make a point of that. We go back to the word balance, okay? And so somehow, some way, these next generation leaders, and you should consider yourself one, I consider myself one, is that you try to find balance somewhere in your own mind and support a local charity, animal. I love you, Doug. You and Pam, positive people, man. Got respect for it. Milano, Sammy having guns is negative. Not all the time, but look, most of the time that I've seen is negative, but I'm not against it. But to me, it's like it's last resort, and it's something that even shouldn't be bragged about. I mean, it should just be like, I don't know. You know, it's a tough thing. I understand why it was put in the Constitution. I also understand that we've evolved a lot past that. But I can understand the problem where big government can, you know, oversee too much. And I don't think government's the answer to everything. I think government is the answer to basic services and playing like a referee for a level of fair playing ground with, you know, corporations and different things. But, you know, there's a balance there. Somewhere there's a balance. But like I say, if you're an individual and you want to protect yourself, there's so many other ways, whether it's a taser, whether it's a gun with non-lethal rounds. There's so many other ways of protection. It doesn't have to be lethal. And so I encourage you, like, if you want to own protection, nothing wrong with that. And look, you know, if you want to own a gun, that's your right. But also look at other things that you can do to protect yourself without, you know, God forbid, like you pull a gun out on the wrong person, you kill the wrong person. You know, there's other ways. You know, that's all I would say. Uh-oh. Oh, I too much sweat. All right, we're back. Damn. All right, we're not back. Uh-oh. All right, let me use my other way to look at this. I use the my laptop. I see everyone. Thank you for leaving a comment, man. I know I'm rambling a little bit tonight. I got love for you guys. Back to live comments. I love you, Milano. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, some more people got killed. Free to be me. What's up, man? When I was strong, I didn't give a damn about the weak. I've been there, and I appreciate you honestly sharing that. Until I fell into depression. Thank you for sharing. Now I help the weak. I agree with that. I've had to be broken at times, and that's why, now again, I want to balance that. That if, when you get broken and then you try to help the weak, or you try to, sometimes the tail could wag the dog. There's a balance. But I do agree that, you're never going to have compassion until you've been broken. Now, some people are legit psychopaths that they have no empathy. They could be broken. They just don't care. So there are some people out there like that. There's some people that you cannot talk sense into, but though it's always going to be a small percentage of society, always. So that's why, no matter what laws you put into place, there's always a certain amount of society, humans, that they're something in their mind is never going to have empathy. There's just no way around it. So again, that's why I said, if you're powerless, that's why I disagreed with the 12-step thing Alexa shared, and love to you if you're listening. If you're powerless over your thoughts, you should not have a level of freedom. Because if you're saying you're powerless over your anger and you can't control killing people, you should not be free in society. If you're powerless over your depression, then you shouldn't be having children. You shouldn't be in care of others because you can't take care of yourself. Because, so that's my thought, because you have to have some level of being able, and if you can't, there's no shame in that, but you need to be in a support group. You need to be in a support group. That's kind of like how I feel. Thank you for sharing, Lila. I see, guys, 99% of people on YouTube risk driving. It's dangerous because he hit power pole was dead, true or false. I'm not sure about the story, but driving is very dangerous. And so try not to text and drive. Definitely try not to check your phone. DoorDash can even be dangerous. So that's a good reminder. And that's why, look, eventually DoorDash is not the future. Eventually we're going to go, in maybe 20, 30 years or so, we're going to go to self-driving cars. Because right now, the biggest threat to human society is not terrorism, it's car accidents. I think about 500,000 people die a year in car accidents. Only about 10 or 20 people die from terrorism. So car accidents are the number one thing that kills the human population, other than cigarettes, I think. So what I could tell you is 20, 30 years from now, you're not going to be doing DoorDash. There will be self-driving cars for that. But look, 20, 30 years, a lot changes in that too. So there'll be different ways to make a side hustle. Diana, heart emoji, love to you. Journey with Jordan, inspirational hall monitor. Yeah, that's what it was. That's true. Good job, Journey. Lila, mini light show, 6 on YouTube. Good job. Please subscribe. I will. To my channel, thumbs up. I will. Thumbs up to you. My friend, he doing much better. I like to hear that. I like to hear people doing good. Tom, love to you, brother. I appreciate your support, man. Balance is the key to life. Thank you, Tom. Tom, thank you. Cameron, thank you. And again, Gerald, thank you. Let's continue to read. Eric, oh yeah, he's gone. Danny, what's up, man? Tom, yeah, kick to the curb, stepping. Yeah, guys, you don't need negative people in your life. You just don't need them. I don't want to hurt them. But my inner circle, and I treat YouTube as a side hustle, but also as a personal time. I mean, I share my personal thoughts. If I treated YouTube just like a business, I would pander. I would never block, because I know how to run business. You just like DoorDash, you don't talk back to the customer. You don't block a customer. So I try to balance YouTube. Okay, we're back to the word balance. I balance it where it's a side hustle, yes, but also a platform that I could share an intimate side of myself to a certain degree, and provide some type of service. It's a balance, but it's not just business. Because again, I know how to run a business. It wouldn't be any back talk to people. It'd just be you be a DoorDash delivery. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. And you swipe complete. So that's why I tell you, the reason I can do that though is because I'm willing to work other jobs. And that's why I tell you, whatever your creative passion is, there's nothing wrong with earning an income off it, but have other things that you're doing so that you don't have to change your creativity. Because creativity is a very personal thing. And when you solely depend on it for a financial way of living, then your creativity will be slanted by business. And then you're not really creative, and then it's just very messy. So what I tell you is do what you have to do to earn an income in a business world or whatever world. And, in your creative space, you have to give yourself some liberty, some freedom that, it's not just all about the dollar, that, you could basically tell people, I'm not going to put up with that. And that's what independence is, and that's important. Eric, gotta stay positive, Sam. It's a full-time job. I totally agree with that. Eric, I have to tell myself every day, I like your attitude, man. Cameron, man, I appreciate you, brother. I do. Just always know that I never mean to hurt you or anyone. You know where I'm coming from, brother. I got love for you. Doug, okay, Sam. It's been a tough night. I'm sorry, man. I know I got very political in the beginning. Don't forget that you mean a lot to me and Pam. I love you, man. All the way from New Mexico. I'll never forget you, man. Doug, you are one of the people, and again, I got to credit. Conservative person, voted for Trump, but he's one of the people in the beginning of my channel. Some of the most compassionate, loving, supportive comments he left on my videos, I'll never forget. Because there's a couple times in the course of my 2.5 years being on YouTube that I wanted to shut my channel down. Especially in the beginning, look, when you're working for free, because you're like, I'm not getting any financial reward. I'm killing myself. And, I'm taking everyone's shit. I don't want to do YouTube anymore. And I came close to just shutting it down. Even a couple weeks ago, even when it finally got monetized, there's days I wake up and I was like, I don't want to be bothered. So you think about, yes, well, I'm not going to shut down because I'm getting some type of money out of it. You do. And you also think about, especially in the beginning, when I wasn't getting any money out of it, I thought about Doug because he left some comments that were very just encouraging. To me, like, how do you make a difference? I mean, just leaving a positive comment on someone's channel is a difference. They read it. I watch people's videos. They got 2 subscribers. They got no comments. Shout out to my guy, Big Dirty Logistics. I don't know how the hell he got 1,000 subscribers. And he's got 2 people watching his videos. I'm one of them. Shout out to Big Dirty, man. But I leave a comment because I know what it is. Guys, I started my channel from nothing. I didn't inherit a YouTube channel. Now, but I also realize I got the gift of gab. And God's given me strength there. It's a gift. I refine the gift. I show up. I do the work. But look, your strength is a little bit your gift, and then you got to perfect it. And it's like that was the dynamic, like when I shut down my nonprofit and I stopped the church stuff. I said, man, I know I got a gift in this area. I know I'm strong where I can help the weak. But I was also burnt out. It's like it's fucking... I don't care about anything. I don't want to be bothered. And that's where I was out of balance. And I had to live a little bit of life. Like if you're ever in the ministry or helping people, you have to still live your life. Like even helping your elderly parent or whatever, you still have to live your life. That's why, look, I make sure my mom's not destitute. But then I also come to Florida because I still have to live my life. So you protect the weak, but you still have to live your life. There's a balance. And, when I was young, it's always a struggle because you never perfect it. But when I was young, I was really like, I got to figure some more stuff out. So, I even think about, I was going to church and then I was doing my electrical contracting business during the day and working at night. And then like a couple of friends, some of them had criminal records and stuff. I would give them jobs and I would pay them over $20 an hour. And there was this one friend I gave a job, just to like give me a hand and stuff like that. And I remember like I would pray before I went to a job because at that time I was big into the church. And he was fine with it, but then I think I got a little bit too pushy and I was wrong. And because he was still like, I think he was of a different faith. I don't know what it was. Or he was like kind of agnostic. But I was like caught in a paradigm or Bermuda Triangle, whatever the hell you want to call it. I was still trying to figure things out. And for me, like the church was really helping me find some type of direction in life. But at the same time, I wasn't giving enough space to someone who like they still were on their own path. And I was mixing my personal thing with like business. And it wasn't fair to him because here I am paying him Like, he may not want to pray like me or pray at all. And there's a scripture that says you shouldn't even pray in public. And like, so he don't want to like tell me like he don't want to pray, but at the same time I'm paying him, so there's a dynamic there. It wasn't fair. I put him in a bad position. And that, you know, it's part of learning and growing. You know? And so you're gonna go through that too. Let's continue. Journey with Jordan. So what happened with the dog you found on the road? I don't know. I called the sheriff's department, and then the sheriff's department patched me in on a 3-way call to the animal rescue. And I told the animal rescue where they was, what the dog looks like. And then they were supposed to dispatch animal rescue unit there and see if they can locate the dog and see if they can locate the owners, if not, or whatever. So basically there'll be a dispatch. So like, you know, same thing, like you see something in the middle of the street, you're going to call the cops or whatever, lost child, you know, they're going to dispatch someone and see if they can figure it out. So, you know, what else could I have done? I mean, the only other thing I could have done was put the dog in my car and take it somewhere. I don't know where I would have took it because I looked at every animal rescue thing. They're all closed right now in my area. So, and I probably wouldn't have did that. It was a balance, but I did something. Okay. So I'm not saying I always do the right thing or I did enough, but if nothing else, do something. Because when does evil prevail? When good people do nothing. When does evil prevail? When good people do nothing. So look, I always tell you, like, look, I'm a compassionate person. The strong should protect the weak. But I'm a YouTuber. I'm not a lifeguard. So if you're in the middle of the ocean and you start to drown, guys, I'm going to call the lifeguard. Okay? Because I'm not a lifeguard. So like if I see a dog and it's lost, I'm going to call animal rescue. So if I have an elderly parent who needs medical attention, I'm going to call a caretaker. Okay. So like, you know, just like a lot of daughters out there, like, oh, I'm taking care of mom. Well, when you need someone to lay sheetrock, do you lay sheetrock? No, because you may be a good caretaker, but you don't know how to do sheetrock. So when you're in a position where you want to help someone, but that's not your gift, you call someone who's strong in that area. Make a mental note of that, guys. That's wisdom. Good job. Tony, what's up, man? What job are you planning to apply for, Jordan? Good to see you, Tony. Journey. I have an interview for a dental office. Good job. Hopefully a good opportunity to move forward at least. Guys, healthcare is one of the most vibrant industries in America. So what I could tell you is you get your foot in the door and work your way up. Good job, Journey. You'll succeed. Tony. Wow, sounds good. Cameron. I want to do a seasonal job in Florida. Well, brother, I think you can do it. There are a lot of seasonal jobs because in the winter, it's height of tourism. And same thing like in New Jersey by the shore, in the summer, there's a height of tourism. So you could do it, and that'll get your foot in the door to at least start something. And again, when you got nothing else going on in life, do something. The only thing with seasonal jobs is just always remember that you're always going to start back at zero. So every season you go back to, and there's really no room for advancement. However, it can help reposition your life. It can help you experience different parts of the country or the world. And if you got nothing else going on, it's a thumbs up. Because like I always tell you guys, something is better than nothing. And you always want to stay productive with your life, Cameron. So Cameron, you're a positive person. You got what it takes. Believe in yourself. Guys, girls, belief in yourself, showing up to a job even when you're scared to death, is the first step forward in your life. Never forget it. Show up scared. Never forget it. Good job. Tony doing what? Doug. Good luck, Journey with Jordan on the interview. Eric. The anticipation of the confrontation is usually worse than the confrontation itself. Yep. And I'd say mark that up to every job too. The anticipation of doing something is always scarier than what it really is. Good job. Mel. Journey with Jordan also says, thanks, Doug. Mel, shout out to Australia. What temperature is it? Good to see you again. Love to you, Mel. Journey. Tony, just a basic office receptionist. Well, it's not just that, though. It's in a good industry. Okay. So just like a rich community, there's a lot of disposable income. So in a rich industry, there's a lot of disposable income. So once you get your foot in the door in the medical industry, in the healthcare industry, and you show up for a period of time, over a year, and you have a positive attitude, you can leverage that experience in the healthcare industry and then you can build on top of that. So it does matter what industry. Now, you may not always know what you want to do, but start now and refine it as you go. Mel, good to see you also. Danny, fear equals false evidence appearing real. I agree with that. Now, look, guys, a lot of times I'm scared. And sometimes fear, it's good to be cautious because there's certainly things in life that'll hurt you. So I'm not saying just blindly leap after stuff, but I'm saying that it's not easy, but you got to just show up. Good job, Tony. Well, good luck, man. I like that positivity. Journey with Jordan. Thanks, Tony. Doug. Journey. That job I didn't get a month or so ago. Well, Doug is selling RVs in New Mexico. He applied for a job in sales in the technology industry in California, so he's giving us an update. He goes, well, they are talking to me in February when they get a new budget. Yep. I am employed, yet I keep looking for something better. There you go. And we will see where it goes. Well, the best time to get a job is when you have a job because you're in a position of strength. So when you have nothing else going on, just get anything and then always leverage it from there. But it is true. In the fourth quarter is when they lay off people. In the first quarter, a new budget will be issued and they'll start to hire people. So that is true. Good job. Tony, keep it. Get at it. Keep at it, Doug. Yeah, good job. Journey with Jordan. Doug, sorry to hear that, man. I know you were really looking forward to that. Good comment, Journey. Hopefully it will still pan out next year. I like it. Sometimes timing is just not right. Journey, way to be positive, brother. That'll come back to you, man. It will. I believe it. Good job. Marcy. Hey, Sam. Hey. Tom, man. Thank you again for your generosity, man. I appreciate that. You encouraging me. Thank you, brother. You're a genuine man of value and integrity, real people, and your words have strength. Your words do matter. And now, again, I know sometimes my words can pierce some people out there. So I never want to intentionally hurt anyone. Okay. But I also have to share what's on my spirit. It's a balance. But if I'm not good for you, whoever it is out there, you do what you got to do for you. Turn off my YouTube thing. I don't want to hurt you. Thank you, Tom, for the words of encouragement. Tony, good job, Tom. Blessing. Doug. Sam. Sam's advice has really helped me through the last few months of being super busy at work. Good job. Not getting the job I wanted, and though some disappointment, his message of keep moving forward is real. Guys, amen. When you're totally lost in life, keep moving. Go for a walk, keep moving, stay productive. Why? Idleness will kill you faster than anything else in this world. And if you stay down, this world will keep kicking you. So get back up. Jeremy Jordan, absolutely, Doug. Sometimes you just have to extend the dash and keep on grinding. Sam is very wise. I got love for you, man. Tom, thank you again, Tom. And he says, thank you to Tony. Doug, thanks, Journey. Cameron, I got love for you too, brother. Stay positive. And we don't, and we want free college. I don't want that for everyone, but I do want an opportunity. Okay, there's supposed to be accountability in society. I'm not for full-blown socialism, but I am for some social programs. After high school, you either going to college and you have to work in that industry for a couple years, or you're going to a trade school and you have to work in that trade for a couple years, or you're going to some military or community service and you have to do that for a couple years. And then after a few years, you can reset your life. So, look, is that an easy thing? No, it's not easy because there's no exact science to life. But just like everything else in life, you just figure it out as you go. You start now and you refine as you go. Guys, guess what the Constitution has been amended? What does that mean? That means they started it with some basic things that will guide, and then they amended it, okay? Because there's plenty of things in the original Constitution that were wrong that they had to amend, okay? So, guys, life is about starting now and refine it as you go. So a lot of people say, Sam, how do we know this will always work out? It won't. A leader's job is to provide a general direction, and then as you go towards that direction, if it's something wrong with it or not good, then you refine it, you amend it, okay? But you don't stay paralyzed in a situation you know isn't right just because you fear what may go wrong. Like you don't stay in an unhealthy relationship because you fear that you'll never find anything better. That's how you destroy your life. And that's how you destroy society. And we say, well, we're not going to reform anything because, there is still some good stuff. Guys, life is about you refine it as you go, and it never stops refining. You never stop adapting because life changes. The world changes. People change. Everything changes. Keep moving. Good job. Tom, free college can also devalue the worth of an individual to a company. Yeah, I'm not for just the blanket statement of free college, but I like the ideas that we're throwing out. We could refine it as we go. Juicy Jeff, I love that damn name. Love the content, man. That's a good catchy ass name, man. Trademark that, man. You be a damn porn star with that name. Doug, Sam, I missed many of your live sessions. That's all right, brother. Just keep doing you. Monday through Friday. Do to work. Take care of yourself, man. That doesn't mean I'm not tuning in, brother. I'll never forget your positive, uplifting comments. Never. Or listening or have moved on. Just so you know, I know that, brother. I got nothing but love and respect for you, brother. You and Pam, man. Keep doing your karaoke, too. Work hard, but also enjoy your life. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Don't feel shame in enjoying the money you earn or living your life. Okay, so Doug, you love karaoke. Never stop karaoke. Guys, I love the Atlantic Ocean. I love Latino MILFs. I'm not going to work my whole life and not enjoy those things. So what I can tell you is this, guys, enjoy your life responsibly, but enjoy it. Live life one day at a time. Jeremy Jordan. Don't go to school, be a teacher guy. It'll be a total disaster, just my opinion. Well, I understand. Journey with Jordan, I believe, was in a teacher's job. It didn't work out. And then he wanted to be a teacher, I think, in South Korea. But he's not there yet. But that's what life is. But Journey with Jordan, you did the right thing. Why? Because you tried something, it didn't work out, and you keep trying. So now you're going to go into a different industry. Will that work out? Maybe, maybe not. But you're doing a positive thing by just keep moving. Guys, you're going to fail terribly at some things. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame. You get back up. I know it's painful. But Journey with Jordan, you're still a leader. And you still got a lot to offer. You got kicked in the ass, which we all have. I have. But guess what you're doing? You're getting back up and you're going forward in your life and you're going to be better than ever. And I guarantee you this, Journey with Jordan, if you're still in here, because of your experience in the disaster of teacher, even though it'll make you a little bitter, just like, I will never date a girl with Hello Kitty again. But also, I always tell you guys, it wasn't, without the girl that I met that had Hello Kitty, she taught me a lot and she helped me. And I played the game too. So if you look back on that teacher position, I'm sure it did you a little dirty, but also you played the game too, and it taught you a lot. It blessed you. It inspired you. So guys, don't just look at a bad relationship, a failed job. Don't just look at it as total disaster, even though it was. I've been through it. It's also had moments of a blessing in it. Take the blessings and build on it. Never forget it. Milano. Juicy Jeff, Alice, California, brother. It's juicy, man. I like that name. Come on. So free college, free healthcare, free subsidies, $1,000 a month. Sounds like Andrew Yang. I like Andrew Yang. And I'm all for that. Because I think, again, that we subsidize corporations. The wealth gap is growing. We spend the most on healthcare, and not everyone's covered. Number one cause of bankruptcy. So I just think it'd be a more humane society. And I think the productive will still work. If you give me $1,000 a month, I'm still working. But if you still work, you could do DoorDash, you could still do other things, because $1,000 a month is still poverty. You just have basic services. And I think it's a healthier society. I don't know why you wouldn't want a healthier society, and I'm not saying you, Cameron, I'm just sharing now, where people are more educated. It may not always be college, it may be a trade or whatever. People have basic health care, and people have a basic level of money where they're not panhandling. I don't know why anyone will look in society and say that's wrong. Again, I think that's just like Social Security or like Medicare. I think it's like you're providing basic level of services, because you look at society, of when society's healthier as a whole, everything's healthier. Right now, if we stay on our course where we keep subsidizing corporations, we give tax breaks, and I love corporations, I do. But if we keep just blessing them because they got lobbyists lobbying the government every day for their free stuff, if we just keep going that route, this is what happens. The wealth gap keeps getting bigger. And eventually, everyone in the gated communities, you know who's coming for you? Everyone with the Second Amendment gun. And that's what's going to happen. Do I care? Guys, say, look, I want to see society do great. Okay. So, look, I lived homeless for the past 3 years. I've lived in a gated community. And what I can tell you is if the wealth gap keeps growing, and eventually, when there's people can't DoorDash and there's autonomous cars and people get frustrated, guess what happens, guys? Not good stuff. So there's still going to be a higher reward for the harder working, more innovative person. And people who are, just like Michael Jordan gambled. Michael Jordan won multiple championships. He was a multimillionaire. He still gambled. He still liked risk. He still, why did Donald Trump keep building buildings? He had $1,000 a month. He has that in him. So people who have it in them to keep building, why did Elon Musk create Tesla? He was already a multimillionaire from PayPal. Why did he create SpaceX? He's already a multimillionaire from Tesla. Why does Jeff Bezos, the leader of Amazon, why does he keep building his company? He's already a multi-gazillionaire, even after the divorce. People who have it in them to be productive, they're always going to strive more. But the people you can't have the CEO of Amazon or Walmart making 10,000 times more than the average worker. Okay, but I'm fine if the average worker is working and they're getting $1,000 a month and they're getting free healthcare. Guys, I don't think that's a bad thing for society. You know what I mean? I don't think like that's greedy. Do I think there are always going to be some lazy, nasty people in life? Hell yeah. But guys, you can't look at the worst of society and say because there's some psychopaths, there's lazy, there's nasty people, because there's like 10% of society that's like that, we're going to forget about the 80% of the society that's working, that's living paycheck to paycheck, and if they get laid off, have no health care. We can't look at the nastiest part of society and say we don't want to give them free stuff, and we forget about everyone who's working to live their best life and they feel like vulnerable. So it's like at some point we have to look at the overall masses of people who are just decent. All right? They're decent. They may not be great, but they may not be negative. They're just decent people trying to do the best they can. Why wouldn't we care for a more humane society? It's like, to me, it's just very basic. Don't make it more complex. Just like religion, just like faith, don't make it more complex. It's very basic. It's just, a level of equality, a level of fairness with also a level of reward, higher reward for the harder worker, the more innovative worker. And I think you got a better overall society. You never have a perfect society. You never have a perfect life. Life is a spaghetti stain on your shirt. There's always the nasty. Okay, I got a cracked windshield, I got a cracked phone, but I'm still doing YouTube. Why? I'm still doing DoorDash. Why? Because you live with imperfection. So if you give some basic services, is society going to be perfect? No. Look, Canada has universal health care. They still have an imperfect society, but they also have health care. Okay. And I'm not even going to talk about the comment I got last night. Let's not talk about that. Let's stay positive. Good job. I love you, Cameron. Jeremy Jordan. Sketchy Jeffy is great YouTube personality. I think he's better than me. In one aspect, like I'm my own person, but I think he can appeal to more people than me. Because like I see how people don't like me. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit abrasive. But at the same time, look, Donald Trump president, so shit, I probably got shot too. But Sketchy Jeffy, he's more like a Joel Osteen. Whereas he's very soothing, he's not abrasive. And the masses would love Juicy Jeff. Guys, they would love him. So I don't think the masses will ever like really buy into me. That's why I better keep door dashing and doing my own IT thing. Cause, I got almost 10,000 subscribers. I'm very thankful for that, but still like a couple hundred views per video. So, I hope it grows, but we'll see. Milano, Juicy Jeff, come to Florida. Now you're not ready for Florida, man. 365, nice weather. He can't handle this heat, man. Juicy Jeff, you stay in California, man. A little too hot down here, man. Milano says Andrew Yang. Milano's life will be changed. He worked his whole life. He got Social Security. I think he making $1,400 a month, and he's still working his side business. You give him $1,000 a month extra? Guys, here's the king. If you give everyone $1,000 a month extra, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to go to Dollar Tree. They're going to go to Walmart. They're going to go to every small business. They're going to buy more cars. They're going to put that money right back in the economy. What do you do when you give tax breaks to corporations? You have stock buyback. You have hoarding of cash. Apple's got billions of dollars hoarding cash. So when you give corporations more money, and I'm not against giving them money, but when you give them more subsidies and taxes, they just hoard it. When you give the average person $1,000 a month, they're going to spend it. They're going to upgrade their car. They're going to buy stuff at Dollar Tree. They're going to buy stuff at Walmart. What's Milano going to do? He's probably going to renovate his RV. What does that mean? He's going to put money back in the economy. So it's not like it's going to be a benefit to everyone. More small businesses, Walmart stock going to go up because more people spending. Like that's what happens in the 60s, 70s when we had unions and pensions. Guys, the economy was booming because people will be spending more in the economy. So now the economy is booming because stock values are going up, asset prices are going up. Why? Because we're keeping interest rates low. We're subsidizing corporations, and I'm not mad at it. And there's still a lot of opportunity in society, but that's what it is. Okay. So, you just gotta have balance. So we're a little bit out of balance. Good job. Where are we at? Tom, preach it, brother. Giving too much is also taking away from ourselves. I agree with this. This is a good comment. at 51, have spent the last year helping a friend getting her life back. When I heard the word her, I know where you're going with this one. Getting her life back together. But people don't truly appreciate more. Tom, I hope you're still in here, brother, because you nailed it with that comment, man. I totally get it. Good comment. Cameron, we are 20 trillion in debt. That's true. And we last year under conservative, okay, under tax cuts, we went 26% more in debt. Okay. So why can't we spend it on the elderly? I agree. And we could still have corporations thriving. We could still have every great thing. Guys, it's like, if you make $1 trillion or 980 billion, at some point, okay, there's greed. All right. And at some point, you have to learn to take a little bit less for the better of humanity. Just like laziness leads to poverty, greed leads to inequality. Laziness leads to poverty, and greed leads to inequality. You have to balance it. And so, that's the truth. Good job. Russell, what's up, man? Finally catch you live. Good to have you, Russell. I know I'm a little late in the comments, man. I hope you guys are still with me. Juliana. Hey, Juliana. Good to have you back. Love to you. Blessings. Gerald, love you, Sammy. I love you too, man. Stay positive. Russell, what's up, Sam? What's up, man? Juliana, to answer your question from last live, I asked her what video she watched me in first. What was the name of your first video that I watched yours? Okay, pros and cons of living in a car. I appreciate you telling me that. Guys, anyone still listening to me, leave right now in the live comments. I'm catching up on all of them. Do you remember what the first video you saw of me was on YouTube? What's the title of the video? Even if you paraphrase it. Gerald, man, thank you again, brother, for that super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Juliano, I went back through my watching history. Thank you. And guys, if you want to watch my videos from when I first started uploading till now in the sequence of oldest to newest, you go to my YouTube channel, you click the tab videos, then you go to the right-hand side of the filter, and you filter it. There's like a little squiggly lines on the right-hand corner, and you go to oldest to newest, and you'll see my beginning videos. You see how much they sucked. But I just showed up anyway. Jen, what's up, Jen? Hey, Sam, glad to see you. Good to have you back. I got knocked up. Okay. So plans change. That's life. Baby 8 months now. Well, I'm glad that everything is healthy. I hope you're okay. Opening a daycare to take care of all things. Well, if that's what's best for you, love to you. I hope that you're well and you just keep moving forward. We can't go backwards now. So I'm glad that you're just moving forward. Take time for yourself. Self-care is the full thing. You got to, especially when you're a mother. I know it's not easy. My mom raised 3 kids. I know how hard it is. So what I can tell you is this, just take time for yourself. Obviously, you have to work, but you can do it. Take life one day at a time, Jen. Thank you for sharing. You're a positive person. Stay positive. Self-care. Self-care. Take time for yourself, and then just keep doing what you need to do. I love you. Russell? I've been living in my car now for more than a month, okay? And have been nothing but inspirational. Thank you. And motivational for me, Sam. Thank you. Thanks so much. Well, Russell, thank you for sharing your experience, brother. I appreciate that. A lot of people interested in living in their car, just like I was when I went on this journey. So I appreciate you sharing your journey. Cameron, it's so hard to live in a car, but take it day by day. That's great comment. Everything in life take day by day, but sometimes, definitely in a car, it's an extreme circumstance. If you can remember that if you can live in your car for 1 day, you can live in your car for 2 days. And then you just put a series of days together, just get through each day. It's a little bit scary or sad at night. And then when you wake up the next day, you remember you're free and you're happy and the sun's up. So I agree with that comment. Take it day by day. Good job. Danny, did a video yesterday about saving versus investing. Thank you, Dan. Tom's laughing. All right, I don't know what else said. Thank you, brother. Cameron, hydration break. Damn it, Cameron, I appreciate you, man. Guys, drink more water, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the love. I do. Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate you, man. I don't know what doorbud mean, Alex. Stay positive. Furry Tom, just subscribe. Thank you, Furry Tom. I appreciate that. Tom, auto repair. Hey, Sam. How's your day going? Overall, good. I woke up, did self-care, Had a healthy breakfast, went to the gym, swam in the Atlantic Ocean Sunday. Then did some DoorDash. Now I'm doing YouTube. I didn't get a chance to do laundry, but I'll do that sometime this week. How are you doing, brother? You coming to Florida? Good to see you. Lila. No, man, you my best friend. Well, sir, I appreciate that. Thank you, Lila. You're my friend, too. Best friend. I appreciate that. Lila, love to you. Tony. Sam, how you doing, brother? I'm doing good, man. Tony, how are you doing, man? Shout out to Maryland. Love to you, brother. You stay positive. Keep playing your saxophone. I've been listening to light jazz. Listening to light jazz recently. Changed my life, man. Tony, belief in yourself. That's key. Showing up to do a job even when you're scared. There you go. Show up scared. I like it. Never forget it. Yeah, powerful advice. I really need to hear that. Love to you, brother. I appreciate you repeating that. Thank you, Tony. Doug, hey, Journey. Love your comments. Journey's positive, brother, man. It's always good to see you here during the live session. You guys are positive, man. Tony, I'm going to write that down and reread it. I appreciate that, man. Especially Monday mornings. Thank you, man. I probably have to remember that myself. Thank you. Journey, thumbs up to Doug. Doug, hey, everyone. I got up at 4:30 a.m. to work out. There you go. Self-care, full-time job. I'm going to hit the sack. Love to you, brother. Rest is good for your mental health. How much sleep does the average adult need? 6 to 8 hours per night. Self-care is also 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, if you're sleeping 10 to 12, too much self-care. If you're only sleeping 3 hours, not enough. Try to hit somewhere, if you want to go 5 to 8 hours, okay, for the average adult. Good job. Lila, no, man, my best friend, I appreciate that. John, what's up, brother? John, man, appreciate you. Lila, and I love you, Lila. You're a positive person. Shout out to Boston, John. Journey, see you, Doug. May the Lord continue to protect you. Keep the faith, man. And Pam, the nuclear fallout is in New Mexico. They got cheap camping, but it's fucking nuclear waste zone. So give and take. Guys, wherever there's free camping, there's nuclear fallout. Like even in Ocala State Forest in Florida, you can free camp there. But guys, it's basically a wasteland. So, guys, you want free camping? There's a reason it's free, okay? So do you want to go, in the middle of the desert? Guy tell you about free mail? Okay, it's free. Do I want to go there? Guys, there's plenty of free beach parks in Florida. You may not be able to camp there at night, but a lot better than the middle of nowhere, guys. Come on. Love it. Yeah, it's that glow. You got that natural glow from the horizon and radiation. That's true. Good night. Thanks for the laugh. Love to you. Lila, hey, Nomad. I light up. We want to Christmas party. I like party. At for Love It season. Well, damn it, it sounds like all positivity's flowing over there. I like it. Good job. Pack, what's up, man? Forward to do even basically of self-reward. Okay. Good to see you, Pack. Good job. Illinois, keep moving forward. I like that comment. Tomasco, I remember your tiny home video. Do you remember that? Had a boatload of views. That was one of my biggest ones. Guys, do you think people want to hear about me and my political views and masturbating in a sock? No. No, I want to hear about tiny homes. That's true. Good job. Jordan. I believe the first video I saw of yours was the one dealing with the police when you live in a nomad life. Oh yeah, that was a hairy incident, man. But guys, when you're ever met with the police or by the police, you always be respectful, honest, and keep your words short and polite. Good job. Tomasco, the first video I saw was the short one about the UPS mailbox. I found it via Google search. Okay. I was fascinated how you speak. P.S. I did get a UPS locker. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that, Tomasco. Tom, doing good moving forward. Good job, Tom. Tom, when is the next RV review? Cameron, when's the next RV review? I got to do some more. I know people want them. I'll do some more. Thank you for the reminder, Cameron. All right, guys. I know my video got cut off a little bit, and I know I was a little bit long-winded tonight, but I appreciate every one of you. I want you guys to live your best life. I also want you to take care of yourself, but I want you to remember that the strong should protect the weak. Because if not, why are you strong? Not to oppress the weak. But at the same time, I do respect and understand that the weak will control you, just like the ants will eat that bee if you give them too much power. So we need balance. Okay, always remember that. Okay, but be a positive light in this world as best you can. And if you can't do anything else, just show up, smile, and try not to hurt anyone. Carol, I appreciate you too. I appreciate everyone, guys. Thank you for all the love. Peace and love. Have a great night.